Hello there, how are you, viewer? Welcome back to the Tapestry Effect, and this time a cover-up in Rockwall, Texas? Question mark. Okay, so I don't know if you have heard of this, but there is a place called Rockwall in Texas. And Rockwall is a city in Rockwall County, Texas, United States. The name Rockwall is derived from a naturally jointed geological formation, which has the appearance of an artificial wall. Okay. In 1851, the first Anglo-American settlers moved to the area and wells were dug. During the digging, they found large underground rock walls that were initially believed to be man-made. Later study of the wall-like features by geologists and archaeologists found them to be jointed natural sandstone dykes that had intruded Cretaceous marl. The town was established 17th of April 1854 and named after these natural rock walls. While originally part of Kaufman County in 1873, Rockwall County was formed, with Rockwall being the county seat. Okay. Well, first question is if they are just natural sandstone dykes, as these geologists call it, why is the name so prominent in both the town and the county as Rockwall? That doesn't really make much sense. Okie dokie, let's have a little look into it. Well, basically, a long time ago now, I saw this documentary, America on Earth, Season 2, Episode 3, Great Wall of Texas. They even call it the Great Wall of Texas. But isn't it a sandstone dike? Yeah, I saw this, and it's very difficult to find this online now, the actual documentary. Luckily, I've got it recorded, but stupidly, no volume. But what I will do is show you through a few key clips later, and you can decide along with me what you think. We've got a load of pages here open. I'm going to just go through them and inspect and have a little look at what we find. So here is just an image that's randomly for sale online of expedition organised or participated in by the Smithsonian Institution. Alarm bells. Sandstone dike, often mistaken for an artificial wall. They always say that same thing. Funny that. Funny, I bet it's since the Smithsonian Institution went there and took these photos that they decided it was a sandstone dike. But our investigation will see what we think. So, Rockwall of Texas, not that you can read that very well, but this is from excavation from 1999-2000s, and we've got some imagery here that we can check out. It's looking pretty flush, pretty flat and straight, and pretty kind of man-made and bricky and wally to me. Nice angle here, So straight away, first picture, I've got question marks really about this natural sandstone dike. Here we have it again, slightly different or further out angle. And we proceed to the left side here. You can see that it's possible that there was a proper window or aperture here that's been prized open with these bars by the looks of it. Again, this third shot shows beautiful straight edges, does it not? And angles. Look at the angle there, and the straight edgedness, and the kind of look of destroyed old brickwork. I kind of agree. It kind of looks slightly clayey and, well, I don't know, slightly different. But I rarely do see in nature such straight lines. Do love these sort of investigations. Again, a similar shot to before, probably the same porthole there, but you can see they've been prizing that open with these bars. Was it originally a window? It's very, very possible. Yeah. Again, very angular and all this. And then, again, it kind of looks to me like, I mean, I could be wrong here, but it looks like they've dumped a load of stuff on the top here. Is that not like sort of a concrete pour or something on top? Why is that? Is it hiding something? I think that looks similar to before these shots, but again, aperture, what looks like, very straight lines, very sort of old brick looking. Natural sandstone dyke. Yeah, maybe. Really? Well, here's another one, an American secret. There's a lot of pages to get through, so I'll try and be fast, but anyway, most people live in Rockwall, Texas do not even know that their city is named after an ancient rock wall. The city complete with the skull of a giant. Complete with the skull of a giant that was found with some people when some people were digging a well looking for a water a long time ago. Oof, I wonder if these people found a water a long time ago. Not very well written, but anyway, continue. The wall is an almost perfect rectangle, 4 miles wide and 7 miles, encompassing more than 20 square miles long, with most of the wall being buried. The top of the wall, at all outcroppings found to date, have a uniform elevation at 550 feet above mean sea level. Oh right, but wasn't it to do with a Cretaceous marl? What, 500? Now it's 550 feet above mean sea level. Again, it just sounds like BS. Most Rockwall residents do not know about this wall. It's in the name, isn't it? And, you know, you're telling me that most people in this place do not know about a supposedly 20 square mile wall. Okay. Alarm bells ring. Why don't they know? Why is it not like the folklore of the town? Okay, let's have a look at this shot. If it's an original, they look kind of bricky to me, these things that these guys are checking out. So, what, natural sandstone dyke, what does it just provide them all at the same sort of size, does it? And nice flush edges. Strange. Never seen that in nature. These pictures aren't so great on this site, so we're just going to read through a few bits. Of the early settlers were 3 newcomers, T. Wade, B.F. Boydston and Mr. Stevenson, that had arrived to establish a farming community in 1852. T. Wade and his family began to build their house on the east side of the East Fork of the Trinity River Valley, near the western edge of the present town site of Rockwall, which is just north of today's Highway 66. In the process of digging the homestead well, Mr. Wade hit a stone formation. Further digging and investigation discovered a rock wall below the surface which ran at an extended length. Before digging the well, they dug a shaft through a cross-section of this larger wall, but the stones were wet and heavy. After about 30 feet, they abandoned the work, drawing the stones out of the shaft. They directed the remainder of the shaft to the outside of the wall to complete a well. At about 35 feet down, they discovered an almost perfect square opening through the wall, which has been referred to as a window, obviously. But anyway, I mean, okay, so 30 feet down, they've abandoned the work, blah blah blah, 35 feet, almost perfect square opening through the wall, which has been referred to as a window. Right, really. Sandstone dyke, right. The opening was 2 feet square in a 2-foot section of the wall. Oh wow, 2 feet square in a 2-foot section of the wall, was it? Oh, incredible. Saying the same thing, basically, is it not? The total depth of the shaft was 42 feet, but they did not find the bottom of the structure. Okay, 42 feet. It's still nice and flush like that, was it? Natural sandstone dyke. Yeah. They decided to know that following is information gathered from Mary Patty Wade Gibson, granddaughter of T. Wade, founder of the wall at the Rockwall County Historical Foundation. She described the additional digging her father and other men did at the home site. In the description were cubicles or rooms constructed of stone which you could walk through and would reach a corridor which seemed to run in a direction into the hill that was square, that the town square sits above. So get that again. You've got cubicles and rooms constructed of stone. We'd reach a corridor which seemed to run in a direction into the hill that the town square sits above. That's funny, isn't it, how they've got the town square built right above it. The alarm bell's not ring there as well. What, so nobody really knows about it. Yeah, it's directly under the town square, has many openings. It's 20 miles square, encompassing 20 miles square, supposedly, and it's found in different locations, not just in one town, but in a few. She also told of an incident in 1906 of two unidentified men digging out the corridor, which had apparently been filled with erosion. Their intent was to reach a room or cavity under the town, which would be full of gold, apparently derived in part from Indian legend. The ceiling of the corridor had steep slopes, much like the mains built, and the further into the corridor the two men excavated, the steeper the slope of the ceiling became. Consequently, the men, fearful of the structural failure, abandoned their search for gold. She also spoke that her grandfather's exploration of the wall discovered on the outside that the wall went straight down. On the inside, she described the wall going down to about 40 feet, curves inward and becomes much thicker. Buttress. So you're getting a bit more of a picture here. It's funny, isn't it? You've got Wikipedia, and like I'm going to show you, this actual documentary went to completely disprove that this is man-made. They've got their geologists in, did a right job on it. And to be honest, the bullcrap history that they give us is so blatantly obvious, especially when you look on here. And funnily enough, you know, they've named the town Rockwall in 1852 when this is. Doesn't even tell you what the town was called before that. I mean, how ridiculous is that? What, you're telling me that the history started then, did it? I mean, it tells you a bit about the settlers, Native Americans, way back. So, nothing to do with them then. No possibility of that, yeah. Shots we will have a look elsewhere later, because they're a little bit blurry. Right, here we go. Metal rings were found at the site, which were composed of tin, titanium and iron, embedded in the rock. Natural sandstone dyke. You can see it in the photo at left, just above the pickaxe. What I mean is actually this. Again, we'll look at it later. Okay, but composed of tin, titanium and iron. Metal rings. Okay. Quotes from scientists who are presently involved with or have inspected the excavation and research to date of effort to expose the rock wall. Say, quote here, the exposed wall is quite spectacular to see firsthand, and determining its origin, genesis and age invokes a number of exciting research opportunities that can certainly advance our understanding of this type of phenomena. Okay. The most important fact, however, is the point that geologists actually do not know the precise processes that created this feature, and therefore a systematic and detailed study of a section of the wall has the potential to expand our knowledge and reveal new data not considered heretofore. What, natural processes? Or do you mean something else? It is good when examples like Rockwall appear that test our abilities and cause us to question basic Newtonian mechanistic assumptions that have not been modified for over 150 years. Good to remodify them, isn't it? Physics had to abandon this approach at the turn of the century, opting itself instead for relativity and quantum mechanics in order to further their understanding of matter and the universe. These two theories are currently undergoing radical revision behind the scenes because of new discoveries that do not fit the paradigm. Exactly that. We would do well to embrace the new physics to help us explain things that we have swept beneath the rug for too long before we lose all credibility. 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 That's a massive word here. Massive word. Really is. So again, leading on. Right, so this one is brilliant. This is fantastic. Right, so this is going on about, in this section, basically how the History Channel have got this documentary coming out. They can't give anything away. Blah, blah, blah. But on here it's like, or is there? Local historian, amateur archaeologist and author John Lindsay thinks otherwise and claims to have the scientific evidence to prove it. Over 5 years of research. So again, leading on. Right, so this one is brilliant. This is fantastic. Right, so this is going on about, in this section, basically how the History Channel have got this documentary coming out. They can't give anything away. Blah, blah, blah. But on here it's like, or is there? Local historian, amateur archaeologist and author John Lindsay thinks otherwise and claims to have the scientific evidence to prove it. Over 5 years of research on the wall has been distilled into his new book to be published in the next few weeks, and it promises to turn some of our currently held beliefs about it on end. Neither Lindsay nor his editor John Carr will say much more until publication, but promise some surprising revelations based on recent discoveries. Here is what has been leaked so far. We'll just run through these a bit quickly. Inscriptions on stone have been found and apparently been translated. An ancient city excavated in another location was found to have the same type of construction of the wall. Stupidly, we weren't told where, other than it's a place that shared the language and dialect found on the inscribed stones. Maybe that's why they weren't told where it was. But then again, it sounds a bit funny, kind of maybe made up as well, so, you know, could go either direction, that one. Now here's what it gets a little bit interesting. Evidence indicates that the walls were definitely buried. Well, that's fucking obvious, isn't it? Honestly. When they were discovered in 1852, they were all under the ground, and then they dug 42 feet down, and they stopped there, didn't reach the bottom. So, yeah, of course, it's definitely buried. Yes. The cause of the burial was sudden and cataclysmic. Okay, and could happen again with disastrous results. Well, that's already covered up again, isn't it? It's not like they've left the whole wall uncovered because no one knows about it, right? But anyway, the story is about this book, right? So, John Lindsay is an author. And the editor is John Carr. This has been written in December 1st, 2016. This book never came out, even though they're going on about it so much in here. You know, everything we present here has been thoroughly checked and cross-checked by scholarly and scientific authority. Has it? Maybe that's why it didn't get released in the end. We put nothing in here that isn't completely vetted with all sources annotated. The reader can go directly to the source and confirm everything we put forth, says Lindsay. Carr says, there are a lot of reasons people cling to established beliefs about things. We get that, and we respect that to a point, but there is a lot we still don't know, and sometimes new discoveries can threaten those beliefs. We hope people can accept what we present as fact, nothing more or less. Well, again, interesting. So, we've got stuff to change people's beliefs here, have you? But, look, the book will hopefully be out by Christmas. The working title is simply The Rock Wall. Okay, cool. Let's have a look for it. Let's search for it right now. John Lindsay. Book. Rock Wall. Oops, sorry about the spelling. Need more light in here. John Lindsay. Book. Rockwall, editor, John Carr. This is just to show you, basically, because I already know. This book never came out, okay? That just takes you straight back to what we've just read. There's literally no other mention of these people ever again. Rock climbing. Different John altogether on that one anyway. So, again, alarm bells are ringing on this Rockwall. that they call Rockwall, but of course it's just a natural sandstone dyke, of course. Of course. The giant skull, a Rockwall mystery. Again, you know, I welcome anyone to just go online and actually read all of these for themselves and you know, come to your own conclusions, but yeah, I think I already know what conclusion you're going to come to be honest with you. I'm not going to get too into this one. In fact, I'm going to leave this for you guys to read. It is quite a long one. I don't want to get too stuck sideways, but it does look like there's been some fraud and forgery going on here, actually. This Sam Slick. Maybe I should go through, actually. Okay. Let's see. Go for it. Why don't we? On Friday, May 28th, 1886, the following article appeared in the Rockwall Success, Rockwall County's first newspaper. The greatest wonders that we have to record this week is the finding of a petrified human skull. While at work last Saturday, Ben Burton unearthed with his plough a gigantic skull, fully as large as a half bushel. The staring sockets wherein the eyeballs once rolled were as large as a half-gallon cup. Some few of the jaw teeth still remained, one of them about an inch thick by 2 inches long. This goes to prove that this country was once inhabited by a race of people that would be wonderful to look at now. Dr. Wiggins thinks that it's the skull of some antediluvian giant that would have weighed at least 1,000 pounds. Anyone wishing to see this mammoth skull can do so by calling at the Success office, as Mr. Burton says he will leave it there for inspection. From Sam Slick. Goes on to say that apparently this Sam Slick was a character that someone has used as a synonym, and that this is made up kind of... I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. But, you know, it does seem like a big wall, so it is a kind of a possibility. I've got another page here. Underground wall in Texas, mysterious structure or deposit that gives name to county near the town of Rockwall is one of the most curious formations in Texas. This town and county were named after, and many contend that in spite of the opinion of scientists to the contrary, the formation is the product of the toll of a prehistoric race. The Rockwall, as it is known, extends along 3 sides of the town, but generally through the south, as it is to be found within 200 or 300 yards of the Corporation Line. The Corporation Line, eh? No one seems to know just how long it is, but traces of it have been discovered across the river in Dallas County. That's right. Some of it has been discovered across the river in Dallas County. Really. Geologists say that the wall owes its origin to a volcanic upheaval, composed of stones which are 3 inches thick and from 6 to 18 inches in length. They are piled on top of one another, just like bricks, and with the same regularity. All of it is underground. At some places, it comes within 10 feet of the surface of the earth. In others, one will have to dig down to twice that depth before reaching the top. Again, they've got some... oh, what's this? There's some sort of inscriptions here. What's a possibility? Is that the inscriptions? No more. There are no other stones or portions of the wall with inscriptions or diagrams that have been discovered to date. So that's a picture of that. Okay. It looks very man-made from here. And here we go. It's only a small picture, but look at the metal ring with the tin titanium and copper or iron. Below are 3 photographs of the wall made by Dr. James Glenn. Okay, very straight. But yeah, looks more like clay there. Here, look. Really? apparently these are the inscriptions when they're drawn out. There's plenty of other marks that they haven't marked out around here though. So I don't know what these symbolise exactly. So what is your opinion on the origin of the wall? Look, a portion of the original wall has been reconstructed. What? So they've taken and reconstructed it? A portion of the original wall. Well, if these are part of the original wall, are you telling me that that's a geological formation? So yeah, incredibly, we've gone from a sandstone dyke, apparently, to looking at it as, you know, something completely different in my eyes. Look at it here. You know, again, another shot, and it's saying exactly the same thing. They've been placed exactly how they were originally found. What, and you're still telling me that this is a natural formation? Look at it. Just look at it. It's so obvious. And here as well. I mean, come on. How obvious can it be? Right. I'll just make sure I've got something on. We can watch this. Alright, let's go for it. Oh, from the beginning we good. And read what's on the bottom as well. Unfortunately, it looks like that might never get off the ground, which would be a real shame. But, you know, that gives you huge insight into something that they're not telling. Here's another video. See what you think of this one.
Over 100 years ago, a curious discovery was made in a town now named after this oopart, Rockwall within Texas. An ancient wall was unearthed, and although it was clearly of an artificial nature, its possible age predictably made a number of people in the academic world deny its artificial origins in favor of a far less likely scenario involving natural formation. Although magnetic exploration suggested that the rock wall had been where it lay for over 100,000 years, its origins have been heavily debated ever since its initial discovery. In 1852, farmers in Texas were digging a well when they discovered the wall. Conservative estimates have placed its creation some 100,000 years ago. Yet now, many believe it to actually be an antediluvian relic. Left by a now lost civilization some 200 to 400,000 years ago. Dr. John Geisman of the University of Texas, Dallas, tested the rocks as part of a History Channel documentary, giving credence to the denial of its artificial origins, suggesting they formed where they were, claiming that they were all magnetized in the same way. This tremendous age has led many to believe in modern paradigm, to deny a man-made origin, as this does to corroborate with the Bering Strait theory and currently upheld timelines in regards to evolution. However, there are others in similar fields who have found curious characteristics of the wall which do indeed suggest artificial origins. Geologist James Shelton, for example, and Harvard's architect John Lindsay have focused on its unique design features, including architectural elements, archways, lintelled portals, and square doorway and window openings, which all suggest not only artificial creation, but functionality for humans, which nature would simply not create. The depth or past height of the wall is also an impressive legacy. The family of T.U. Wade, who moved to the area and initially made the discovery, dug to a depth of 40 feet to try and find the bottom of the wall. This excavation, however, was abandoned without finding the bottom. Years later, in 1949, Mr. Sanders of Fort Worth took up the baton and continued excavational exploration of the wall, finding a number of megalithic stones at considerable depth and weighing several tons. After bringing them to the surface, mysterious pictographs were found upon them, further supporting the thesis of artificial origin. In addition, curious metal rings of modern composition were found embedded in rocks, suggesting the presence of lost technology. It would appear that the wall is indeed an antediluvian relic, one possibly submerged and subsequently buried in ancient sediment during the Great Flood. Modern studies have found that the wall is in fact 6 stories tall and 20 miles in length, with a number of individuals now attributing the wall to a lost civilization of giants due to its inexplicable nature. Quote, "It is good when examples like Rockwall appear that test our abilities and cause us to question basic Newtonian mechanistic assumptions that have not been modified for over 150 years. Physics had to abandon this approach at the turn of the century, opting instead for relativity and quantum mechanics in order to further their understanding of matter and the universe," said James Shelton, geologist from New Orleans. It is a relic which we find highly compelling.
What a great channel that is. Again, there's more to meet the eye than they tell you. The guys involved with the excavation say, Scott Walter that is, says, regardless of what it is an amazing, weird, cool thing. I can see why people really got excited about it. I've never seen anything like it. So you're a geologist, and you've never seen anything quite like it, this natural formation, before. Really? Hello, bells. Ring, ring. Again, here we go. Also, because this is a serious science, no one is allowed to know the results of the investigation until the show airs later this year. Walter will not be conducting the test himself, but rather merely observing the work of John Geisman, a Dallas geologist who has researched paleomagnetism and rock magnetism extensively. Ironically, Dr. Geisman has devoted his career to advocating for the importance of science and combating public misunderstanding of science. Combating the public misunderstanding of science? What, people don't understand science? Or is it just that science is being used to mislead people? I wonder if you ever watched the show. Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. One of the most interesting takeaways from the article is that Scott Walter and the producers of the show told the paper that they were not familiar with the Rockwall of Rockwall until someone from the town called their tip line to ask for them to investigate. According to the son of the property owner, a man named Adam Nix of the Collin County Historical Foundation contacted the History Channel about bringing the show to town. This is especially interesting since last year an article about the Rockwall of Rockwall appeared in an anthology of ancient American magazine articles that included not one, but 2 articles by Scott Walter himself. Is he not familiar with the books he appears in, or the magazine he writes for? It's very interesting, isn't it? So you've got the geologist here, Scott Walter, who's involved with the show. Previous to the show, he's written 2 articles about it in the lost world of ancient America. But then when the show call up, they claim they've never heard of it. And then at the end of the show, they claim to you that it's actually a natural sandstone dyke. Really. Funny enough, a lot of people also acknowledged some problems with this. This one. I know about Walter's radio interview. In fact, I was invited to participate in a radio show with Walter set for this week, but Walter cancelled the appearance as soon as he learned that the show planned to have on people with opposing viewpoints, according to the show's host. After this week, what the hell? There you have it. He refused to appear on a radio show with me. Maybe because you got an opposing viewpoint and the evidence is mounting on your side, and he would have literally no argument. That is why. Yeah, didn't want to be called out as a fraud, obviously, this guy, did he? You know. Incredible how these people get away and write this crap on Wikipedia and tell you and me and everyone else that it's absolute bunkum. It's absolute load of crap, all of it. Trust the fake science, huh? Yeah, exactly. Coast to Coast AM had Josh Reeves on, quoting the same show description. Reeves shares his research into a mysterious wall buried under Rockwall, Texas. The ancient structure was built by an ancient civilization that predated the arrival of Native Americans, he revealed. Beneath Rockwall are crystals with strong piezoelectrical properties, Reeves reported, noting how they may have been part of a harmonic energy generator used to launch spacecraft. Alright, that's maybe a bit too far-fetched for me right now, but you never know. His investigation into who could have built the wall, as well as the archaic mounds found all over the world, uncovered evidence of a race of giants. But Reeves wasn't particularly convincing. Okay, yeah, maybe it's going a bit too far with that. Maybe we need a bit more evidence to suggest that claim. But again, the story goes deeper and further into a rabbit hole than we saw when we looked at it being a sandstone dyke. Incredible. And a few other people here writing a few other comments. I just watched the episode, and while it only seems to show them sampling a single block, a little later it shows a wider angle, and it appears that they sampled at least 4 different blocks. Why don't they show that in the thing? I didn't really see that, to be honest. This bothered this guy. And yeah, again, block of stone. Please explain the 90-degree angle walls, or the fact that the area is a perfectly enclosed area by the wall. If indeed it's a fracture as he suggests, then it should be random or fall within fracture lines, not making a 90-degree angle with flush walls. Or flush surfaces, huh? With mortar in between. Right for me, should I just watch the show and noticed a 90-degree angle wall? So that's a good one. Scott Walter is a fake and a fraud. You ought to contact the police and notify them of the situation. The show glossed over any serious scientific research. Google L.A. Marzulli, Josh Reeves or John Lindsay and read or watch their findings. Exactly. Might add a bit more to the story, yeah. So, next page here, it's just a very quick one. There's a place called London in Texas. I don't know how far it is from Rockwall, but funnily enough, look at this. Nice photograph there of what they reckon is an extremely old London artefact when the rock in which the tool was found trapped in was alleged to be over 400 million years old. Okay, well, it's got just to show there are other intriguing phenomena going on in Texas and the surrounding area. Very interesting. And this Josh Reeves, I recommend everyone to listen to this. As that guy said, maybe he's not so, he's a bit more underground. He likes to go a bit more into the giants and whatnot, so it would be interesting to hear what he's got to say. I have listened to this personally, and I do recommend other people do that as well. And again here, just a very quick overview before we start looking at the footage. And over the years, the weight of authority has opined that the structure was natural, including a professor of physics, Dr. Heyer, the Smithsonian Institute's very own, different peoples there, and a geologist. It's funny that, isn't it? So you've got the Smithsonian Institute, you've got physics professors, and you've got geologists, who all agree that it's natural. Okay. Of course, even experts can disagree, and when archaeologist Count Byron de Prorock examined a portion of the rock, of the feature in 1925, he concluded it was man-made. Great name, Count Byron de Prorock. He's pro-rock, man. What a cool dude. Likewise, after architect John Lindsay studied the wall in 1996, he opined that evidence of a prehistoric structure built by man is mounting. Isn't it? This is a good one, actually. Building on Lindsay's opinion, one of them came out. James Shelton wrote an unsolicited plea for assistance in the re-evaluation of the Rockwall County, Texas Rockwall anomaly. In the paper, Shelton points to the fact that linteled portals and archways were documented along the walls and openings on the wall that represent and resemble windows or conduits for water have been observed as well, as was a stone-lined passage that led to a vaulted chamber. Sandstone dyke. Shelton also identified that in 1949 a piece of the feature had been excavated that appeared to have an ancient script on it, and the script reportedly matched that found on a copper coin that had been augured up from 200,000 to 400,000 year old dirt, apparently, from a well in Illinois in 1870. And today that coin is stored at the Smithsonian Museum. Yeah, I bet it is. Out of sight, out of mind, yeah. We could go on with this, but we won't. Let's have a quick look at this, just for you guys, just to have a look. This Hungarian-American amateur archaeologist and anthropologist, Byron Kuhn de Prorock, literally the original Indiana Jones. And he also agrees that this was man-made, and people like this get shunned out. They do not get heard, but people like Scott Water do. Okay. Regardless of what it is an amazing, weird, cool thing. I can see why people really got excited about it. I've never seen anything like it. So you're a geologist, and you've never seen anything quite like it. This natural formation before. Really? Alarm bells! Ring ring. Again, here we go. Also, because this is a serious science, no one is allowed to know the results of the investigation until the show airs later this year. Walter will not be conducting the test himself, but rather merely observing the work of John Geisman, a Dallas geologist who has researched paleomagnetism and rock magnetism extensively. Ironically, Dr. Geisman has devoted his career to advocating for the importance of science and combating public misunderstanding of science. The combating the public misunderstanding of science. What, people don't understand science? Or is it just that science is being used to mislead people? The actual documentary I saw. This is America on Earth, Great Wall of Texas. This is the beginning. We're just showing you a reenactment of what happened. What is it? It's a wall by the looks of it in this reenactment. My God, we found the sandstone dyke. Just to go with the story, this footage is actually from 1852. This is them finding the sandstone dyke. Good, isn't it? Look how much it looks like a wall. Oh my God. It goes down a lot longer, a lot deeper than I thought it might. So that's just a little reenactment at the beginning. Oh, I'm eating a cake. It's lovely. Oh, look. Apparently what this guy's saying is that wall was built from bricks or rock from this natural sandstone dyke, and these were all taken from it and been put around the town in different areas. These little sculptures, including incredible sandstone dikey bitties. Of course. Yeah, it's a stone, yeah. I'm just gonna take a closer look. Oh yeah, look. It's a natural sandstone dike, I'm sure of it. How am I gonna fucking lie about this shit? It's too obvious. I can't lie about that. Everyone will know it. 555. Ooh. Is that an original photo? Sandstone dyke. Well, looks a bit flush. Looks slightly bricky and mad-matey. Well, looks a bit bricky, if I'm honest. Looks a bit man-matey. Let's zoom through a few more minutes. What's he saying here? Scott Walter's in town! Is that the wall? Oh, wait a minute. No, it's possible builders. Kiddo try from 800 AD. Chinese wall builders from pre-Columbian times. Or earliest Americans from more than 12,000 years ago. This is a hypothesis of the possible builders of this incredible wall that they seem to be finding everywhere around the town. Alright, let's go a little minute further. I like another thing he does. Oh look, some photographs. And a guy who loves to dig. Okay. Oh, yeah, we've seen that one. Nice 90-degree angle that everyone seems to have exposed from looking at it. Funny that. Geologist thinks differently, maybe? Oh no, wait, it looks like a wall at the moment. Yeah. Wait a minute. What's that? There's another photo coming. I know it. Places where people dug and hid the rock wall. Quite vast area, isn't it? Yes. As he's explaining. Pretty vast area. Okay. Texas Rockwall. Origin unknown. Oh. Okay. Interesting, isn't it? Yes. I'm just gonna show you lots of really cool little stones in the area. Ooh. What do you think, Walter? I've slowed right down, if that's okay. Just gonna put this thing on here. See if this thing does this thing. Makes it a thing. Put calcium carbonate on it. Indicative of limestone, marble, or calcite. Okay, that's it. What does it do? Does it bubble away? Does it tell you the truth? Is it the real thing? Who knows? Interesting. Oh, she's seeing a reaction. They're chatting about it. Oh, wait a minute. Huh. Oh. Is that a picture of the very same wall?
Yeah. It's a natural sandstone dyke, of course. Really? Yeah, I think so, yeah. It's not a window, no. I mean, it looks like one, doesn't it? Oh, it looks like a portal. Yeah. Oh, I noticed a bit of a 90-degree angle there, doesn't it? Yeah.
Wow. Oh, shit, fuck. What are we gonna do to, disprove this? Oh, I don't know. I don't really know. Oh, yeah, you're gonna bring the truth, aren't you? Oh, yeah. Probably not. Probably not. Oh. What's he saying? Oi. We're gonna go that way. Oh, wait a minute. What's he saying? Oh. Summer solstice, longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. Yes, it is, you're right. Guess what? It aligns. Oh, really? Oh. Just another incredible phenomena. Of course. Remember everything mentioned at the bottom in the other video. Oh, that one's man-made. No, you know what? That's a sandstone dyke, I reckon. Yeah. What's this? Archaeoastronomy. Ancient practice of aligning buildings with celestial bodies. Okie dokie. There's that in there as well. Sandstone dyke. Natural geological formation. Of course. Well. What can I say? I don't know. I don't want to force opinion. But, hello? What are you doing? I don't know. I'll just take all the samples from the same fucking stone. Yeah. Okay, enough said, enough watched, I think, really. Showcasing geologists taking the piss. And Kunda Pro Rock, have a look into him. He's literally the original Indiana Jones, this guy, and he's gone and said it's a man-made structure. So, very interesting to see that, you know, there are certain scholars or peoples that are coming out with information or an opinion about this which is completely contrary to the given narrative. And you know, we've seen a lot of evidence. So we've seen the fact that they brought out a documentary completely to disprove it. That on Wikipedia it states, even though it's called Rockwall as a town, Rockwall as the city, the county, it's a very prominent name, but it's an artificial wall apparently. It's a natural sandstone dyke. Yet we know that with the Smithsonian Institution have also been here and have said exactly that. They've said exactly that, and these words have been re-uttered later quite clearly by America and Earth and the geologists involved, I would say. We've looked at all the imagery that has clearly showcased there are definitely things going on here, especially 90-degree angles, nice flush surfaces, the fact that they dug 42 foot and they haven't even reached the bottom, the fact that it looks like, and there are stories of portals, windows, corridors, perhaps even rooms containing treasure, etc., etc. I'm seeing a lot more than just a sandstone dyke. You know, you've got a story of giant skulls as well, and you've got the fact that around the whole town you've got the reconstruction in different areas from these stones. But of course, that, you know, they don't look man-made whatsoever, do they? Any of them. You know, again, what the residents don't know about it, the fact that actually it passes into Dallas County, the fact that it's 20 miles square or encompasses a huge area, and you're telling me that even all, here we go, look, again, let's have a look, metal rings embedded within them, and just look at it, you know, and they're still coming out with this crap. Look at that, and you're telling me that this is geological, yeah? As it says here again, look, it came from this farm and had been placed exactly how they were originally found. Look at them. Oh. Yeah. Look at them. And in the videos, and the amount of information within 2.5 minutes, a lot more than what they're giving, and a lot more than probably I did in this time. But anyway, I think that's about it. Yeah, and like you see, you've got the old Indiana Jones also saying. But anyway, bye.